Hey, hi guys, how is it going? Welcome back to another episode of the GT6. I know that all these transmission videos were really annoying for you, but believe me, there are some people who are doing this kind of job and they will appreciate it, including me, because I know that in a few months I will forget all that and I'm gonna have to do the research again, and it's gonna be so easy to just go and watch my own videos, you know? I'm gonna make some more views on my own videos as well. So anyways, the transmission is done. So now we're back on the GT6 and we finished more or less the shell here. I'm not gonna go into the fender. I'm gonna probably wait until I'm done with the rest of the car and then I'm gonna do the whole bonnet together. But it fits pretty well, so we have it with Clicos there. It just needs to be taken out, everything underneath needs to be fixed, and then it needs to be put back there. But you know that our seal is not permanently mounted, and our door as well needs some more repairs here. Let me show you. So we need to do these repairs a little bit on the outside as well. So let's get crack-a-lacking. Alright, so as expected, this area here is in a really bad shape, but the good news is that this part here is not too bad, so we only need to recreate the top of it here. Also on the outside, you see this big hole here, there's bits here as well, so all that needs to be repaired, nothing that we didn't expect. You see here inside there's bracket. This bracket holds the two parts of the door together, and now because it got detached, you see everything is flexing. So we need to put this bracket back or make another one. So for this reason, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark it so we don't lose where it goes. It might be on our way for the window if we lose the position. So I'm gonna mark it like that and like that. And just in case, I'm also gonna mark it on the inside. So here and here. So it is in this area, the bracket. And now I can literally cut off everything that I don't want here, and we're gonna start making new. There's this inner structure here that I want to keep, so this we're just gonna rust convert once we cut everything, and we'll keep it there. Here I'm not gonna go above the highest spot here. There are some pits that are further, but I'm gonna weld those in. I don't wanna make it way too complicated. So here's the bracket that I was talking about. Yeah, so this inner structure here is not too bad. We're gonna keep it because otherwise it's gonna become one hell of a door. It's not gonna be worth the labor. So for here we're gonna make the replacement piece first, and then we're gonna decide where to cut it. First of all, let me rust convert this part here. So you see, this looked like what the heck, and now it looks like, oh, it's actually not that complicated. You know, it's always like that. Oh, my heater came off. Spring is almost here, guys. Actually, inside the door looks great. I don't understand how this happened here, but whatever. Okay. Now let's see how we're gonna make this patch. Okay, so after a very deep discussion with the production team, we decided that this is the best approach. So we're gonna make one patch that is gonna be with this profile, straight, and we're gonna make another patch, which we found this as the best candidate for it. That is gonna represent this little, what should we call it, like a channel. And from there, we're gonna just cut them and join them together, you know? So when we have a compound shape, we break it into smaller shapes, make them separately and weld them together. That's one approach. Another approach is to try and make it from one piece, which it's possible, but it's gonna take way too long and I don't think it's worth. So let's try and make this into this. Okay, it's more or less there. We're gonna leave it alone for now. Let's make the other one. Okay, so for that one, I think we're just gonna leave this much, let's say, for the flange that goes in. And from here, we're gonna start on the brake, bending it more and more. And then with the planishing hammer, we're gonna flatten the lines. But we're gonna leave this unbent until we finish with all these. Then we're gonna bend this on the brake. That's way too much, but keep in mind that the planishing hammer is gonna straighten it a little bit. Okay, let's make some noise. Okay, so if we align the black line here with our edge, where we're gonna have to bend it at the end, and we roll it nicely, looks like here, all the way to here somewhere, we are good. So we have lines here that I can still see. These are 1, 2, third line. So from the third line, we might start bending it more now. That, of course, I had it bent more, but the planishing hammer straightened it. So now we're gonna try something else. Not sure if it is gonna work because the planishing hammer is new to me, but I think I might be able to do something like that. Like as I'm going in, I will be pressing down on this side and this might bend it more, I think. I don't know if it is gonna work, but we can try. All right, I think that's pretty close. So now I can mark exactly where I want it to be bent. And let's see how we're gonna bend that, because that's gonna be tricky now. We can bend it a little bit on the brake as far as we can go, and then the rest we can do on a vise or something. That's how far we can go, which is not a lot, but it's a beginning. And the rest maybe we can bend here. I can't find anything with round edge. I don't want to round this one, but let's try. It's working. Need to clamp my vise better. This is the vise that I'm moving back and forth from table to table, and I don't want to mount it permanently because sometimes I want to take it out because it's on my way. Okay, now we can't test it anymore, but what we can do is we can make a pattern here. If you take a piece of cardboard, of course, it's not an advertisement, but yeah, I am hungry. So that's the end. Okay, more or less. Like, are my hands shaking? Okay, so this thing now matches pretty well our pattern. Maybe a little bit more here in the corner. Sorry. Okay, so this matches pretty well our pattern now. Just the flange is a little bit overbent. I don't know how that happened, but we're gonna straighten it. Other than that, it matches pretty well our shape here. So we're good. So let me straighten the flange a little bit and we're gonna go from there. Alright, so this thing now matches our shape like pretty good, and here as well. So we are ready to start cutting it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put it right here where it's gonna be at the end, and here we're gonna mark more or less how it goes. And we're gonna cut it a little bit longer, and we're gonna cut it, and then we're gonna start shortening it. We don't wanna go too far, right? And here, this edge needs to go all the way to here. So that's how we're gonna cut it. Because we're gonna need this material here. No, because we're gonna have to weld it to this edge. So actually, we're gonna use this material here. So this is gonna come and this is gonna be welded there. So this is where we're gonna weld this. Yeah, because when we put this there, we're gonna have to cut it something like that. And then this edge is gonna be welded here. Anyways, I'm gonna leave a little bit longer. I can't figure it out. Just somehow I can't imagine it. But once we cut it, we're gonna figure it out. So we're gonna cut here, and we're gonna cut it this with this shape. But I think we can just cut it straight, but we will see. See what I'm talking about? We can just cut it straight. Let's cut this as well. So this is where this is going to be welded. And when this comes there, I'm going to bring you on the other side so you can see better. So we don't need this little flange underneath, we can cut it straight down. But the problem is when we put this there, I'm going to end up with this little piece here empty. So our cut actually needs to be something like this. Straight and then like this and down. And then this is going to be cut round too. Yeah. Okay, it starts to make sense, doesn't it? Now keep in mind that we're not going to replace the whole thing, we're going to cut it somewhere here. So I don't care about this part. Okay, I think in this position We're gonna tack them together, we're gonna flip them around, and we're gonna fill with weld the whole bottom underneath. And then the top again. And then we're gonna be able to grind this. We're gonna have a lot of meat here, so we're gonna be able to grind this round the way we want it. But one thing is important here, we have to remember that now this metal is under the other metal, and this metal is above this metal. So we have to raise this by one thickness of our metal, and we have to drop this by one thickness of our metal. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mark them here and here, and I'm actually gonna do it out of the door. I'm gonna do this, because that's how it needs to be. Double check again. Yeah. You see how high this is now? It needs to go, this corner needs to go under. Like this. Okay. No gas. It helps if you turn the gas on. Okay. So I guess this won't fit anymore, but that's fine, because now this is hitting this metal. But now we can weld it on this side and on this side, and then cut off whatever we don't need and grind it. Actually, I changed my mind. I think I'm gonna finish this. I'm gonna weld it all the way to here, and then we're gonna make the second weld right here. We're gonna cut this piece like that. I'm gonna cut, of course, this here, and like that. That's what I think I'm gonna do, which means we're gonna have to cut this the same way. Something like that, and like that here, so we can bend this down later. But first I'm gonna cut it here, bend it a little bit, and weld them together. Okay, so I ground this edge here. Again, we have a lot of weld underneath, so I was able to make it round, no problem. And you saw me, like I trimmed it a little bit at a time with this tool, with all kinds of grinders and cutting wheels. Until now, we have a pretty good match here between the two materials. And now what I did also was this line, I extended it out of the hole and on this side as well. So now when I put this here, I can see exactly where I need to cut it, here and here. Probably it's gonna need more, because now the two pieces of metal are overlapping here, so it's gonna need to go more. So maybe it's a good idea first to mark this line and cut this first, so I can actually match this line later. Okay, now I can line it up here and mark this line as well. So now a straight line between here and here is going to give us our cut. And voila, the patch is ready. So now we just have to weld it. We just need to be careful not to weld it like this. It looks like it needs to be raised a little bit here in the middle, and that's how we're going to weld it, but we can measure the gap here. Alright, it's all done on this side. There are some pinholes here and there, but you know what? I tried to chase them here, and this weld actually started sinking because it's overheating. So I don't think it's worth. I mean, there's going to be a little bit of body filler here, but so far so good. Even inside, that's inside. Here, I could have built it up a little bit more, but you know what, there's a gasket that comes here. Maybe I should build this. When we weld this side, I might work a little bit on this as well. But in general, pretty happy with it. So one side done, let's do the outside now. Now for this side, what we can do is just make a long piece with this profile again, with a flange, and do this. Just trim the flange from here to here, make this shape, and replace this whole piece. But I don't want to go down there when I have solid metal here. I only have issues here, and I don't want to go into trouble making all this whole entire curve. I can make it, I can make a piece like this, and then trim only this part of it. But why would I go into trouble making all this just so I can cut it after? So what I think I'm gonna do, I'm gonna make a flange only here, one flange, and then we're gonna make another patch here, maybe here, or maybe even closer. We don't need to go that low, we can go just here and literally do that. Okay, so let me cut this and we're gonna go from there. Okay, this one is welded, and I made this one as well that I can put with a magnet there, and we can weld. The problem is I forgot I meant to drill holes here inside for plug welds for the bracket that we're gonna mount. We're gonna have to figure out a different way to put that bracket inside that holds the two parts together. But let me weld this now. Okay, no, it's too shiny. I'm trying to make it not so shiny so you can actually see it. Well, it's not perfect as usual. Yeah, you can still see the welds here and there, but in general I think it's really good. And inside as well, here this area, so I'm not gonna touch it anymore. There's gonna be a little bit of body filler here anyways, so that's gonna be it for here. We shouldn't forget this little bracket though that was there. Of course, I'm not gonna use this one. I already made over there, I made one and it's painted, waiting for it to dry so I can weld it in. All right, let's see how this is gonna fit. So you see these lines? This is where it was, right? Wow, they still match, surprisingly. So we can put it like this. Okay, so I'm gonna try to weld it in the corners. I'm gonna put 4 tacks there, and that's gonna be it. Looks good. Okay, done. All right, so with that, we're gonna call it a video, and we're gonna call the door ready. And the only thing that we need to do with it is we need to put some silicone on the seam inside, on the jog weld that we've done, where we have overlapped metal. That's gonna happen when we are doing the entire car, seam sealing the entire car. So for now, we're gonna call it done, and that's gonna be the end of this video. In the next one, we're gonna probably pull out the seal, and we're gonna paint it inside, and we're gonna install it. We're gonna make a transition piece in the door jamb that we need to do, and probably stuff like that, but that's gonna be in the next video. This one, we're gonna end it here. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for commenting and subscribing as usual. Thanks for supporting the channel on Patreon and via PayPal. It's really appreciated. There are also some people who help me in different ways, and that's also really appreciated, guys. Thank you. And if you haven't become a Patreon yet and you wish to become one, you can follow the link in the description under this video, and that's gonna take you to my Patreon page. There are 3 different subscriptions that you can choose from, monthly subscriptions. But if you don't want to become a monthly subscriber, you can also do a one-time donation if you wish. You can do that by sending PayPal transfer to elin.yakov@rustybeauties.com. On that same email, you can send e-transfer to if you're in Canada, but you don't need to do any of that in order to have access to all my videos and group or anything like. There's no VIP content here. The financial support is only a way for you to say thank you if you feel like it. If you can't afford it, you're still a valued subscriber and you still have access just like everybody else. So with that said, I'm gonna sign off, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.